Another leadership nugget, I call it the 3 Ps. And this, from a personal experience, it starts with you as a leader, as a manager, but it's something that then I would want to make sure every single person working with me, I wouldn't say for me, has. And that's passion, purpose, and pleasure. And what is important to understand is if you're not passionate about what you're doing, or if you're not pursuing what you are passionate about at this moment in life, right, then you're not going to enjoy it. And the purpose is really independently from the purpose of the organization, the company, or the team, and the department. But what is your own personal selfish reason why you want to join this team or this program? Because for me, you don't have to tell me, but I need to know that you have it. So once you are passionate about something and you have a clear purpose of what you're trying to do, then there is the pleasure. Then you enjoy doing it. You have fun doing it. The moment one of these collapse, the very first signal is that people don't start losing the pleasure. And it's a perfect example was, why did I choose to become the head of corporate responsibility? If I wanted to do good, I could just volunteer. But again, I had a purpose. And it wasn't doing social good. My selfish purpose was that I wanted to learn how do I lead people without authority. Right? The passion was that I wanted to mobilize people to go through my same journey of doing good, stumble to it, and then start creating value, because then it will make a bigger social environmental impact, right? And although this was an add-on to my daytime job, no extra salary, no extra money, I enjoyed doing it for the 6 years that I did. Even when people volunteer, I always try to make sure, what are you passionate about it? Why are you doing this? Because then I know you're going to enjoy it, right? But then the ultimate measurement is you enjoying doing it. When you're not enjoying doing it, then usually one of the two is falling apart. And it's natural because we all grow up, you have a family, you put up a family, then your kids have all grown up, they moved out, so now you start thinking about retirement. So your passion will divert. Very interesting anecdote. Almost 25 years in DHL. So it got to a point that been there and done it. And yet, there was one thing that I was very proud of working for that organization, and it was that I was a member of the disaster response team. So every time there is a national disaster and the country opens up the border for international relief, DHL is automatically triggered by the United Nations. And it's a free service, right? Nobody pays us. So we go to the airport and we provide warehousing, logistic management, because you can imagine it's chaos. Infrastructure most of the time are dilapidated. The people working in the airport are probably tending to their family if they survived. And then you get all of these cargo planes coming in and dropping off goods. So I was deployed in Indonesia. It was a short one. In the Philippines, after Ayan, I was in Nepal. And even when I left DHL, there is only one thing I kept. Actually, two things. My disaster response team uniform and my disaster response team ID card. And that's because it really made me proud of working for the company and what the company stood for, right? And people would say, well, aren't you passionate about your job? Yeah, but that's not the reason why I like to stay in this company. Try to ask this question to people. Why you want to work for this company? Now, your generation will have a different answer than my generation. Although some people argue that you shouldn't make generational leadership by generation. Some people say it's nonsense. I tend to agree to a certain extent, because if you put it back to the 3 Ps, then it doesn't really matter. Right? It's just your passion is going to be different than mine, but that's fine. Your passion is going to be different than the peer in your age. I think we are getting too hung up on generational gaps and leadership, when at the end of the day, our selfish needs and wants, by nature, they're the same. Is how we get there is different, and why we want them is different. So again, if you tie back to the 3 Ps, it doesn't really matter if you're a baby boomer, Generation X, and so on, right? I just need to make sure that they're